Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. FM 790 AM. Or maybe streaming it up at our website, sportstalk1051.com, WAYYradio.com. You also have the app. You could download that, take it on the go. The smart devices, smart speakers, like your Alexa devices. Also, video stream up and rolling on YouTube, Man Cave TV. Just look it up, click that bell, follow, subscribe. I hate the word subscribe, so just follow it there. So join in on the Section 105 chat with the group over there, or hit us up with a text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. Nick, with a very random question. Parsons and Garrett, if they were on the Packers, how many games would they lose? I'll go one or two. Because you know what's going to happen. One team's probably just going to run the ball up the middle the whole time and probably run for like 200-some yards and throw the ball 10 times, because that hasn't happened before against Green Bay. So, like one or two. I'll roll with that. Speaking of Green Bay, we had, kind of a big story yesterday, big nugget yesterday, big news yesterday. We talked a little bit about it in the first hour, but to kind of revisit it, and if you haven't had a chance to give us or give me your opinion and thoughts on it, Christian Watson. Packers locking him up for 4 years, little over $110 million, $110.5 million. We knew. Okay, we knew. And I don't know the side that everybody is on that's listening right now. I don't know if you're on the side. Some of you have chimed in. I don't know if you're on the side of you like it or you think it's too much money for a guy who's been hurt. I can tell you my side. I like it. And I do think it is, if we wanted to use the term team-friendly, I can buy that. Because when you put it in this perspective, first off, when we go to like Andrew Brand, who is the expert at this area, used to do these things for Green Bay. As he put it, it looks like a very team-friendly deal compared to Drake London. Tough deal to negotiate, potential to be a special player, yet large periods of unavailability. Sets up for large incentive-based for playtime and performance. If we put it in a little bit more of a comparison, as Tom Silverstein notes, who covers the Packers for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, not a crazy amount of money given the escalation of wide receiver salaries. Puts Watson, if we do average per year, about 15th in the NFL in average receiver salary. If total guarantee is $31 million, then that ranks in the 20s among receivers. And we found it was about 26th. Guys like Romeo Doubs, Travis Hunter have more guaranteed money on their current deals. Romeo obviously signed that new one with the Patriots than what Christian Watson has with that signing bonus. I think if there was one side, and I don't necessarily want to get into the whole, well, this is, Packers fleeced him or something like that. I think it's good for both sides. Sure, Watson could have said, I'm not negotiating. I want to play this year. I'm going to bet on myself, and I'm going to just, with the idea that I'm going to put up these astronomical numbers. I'm going to go over 1,000 yards. I'm going to go get double-digit touchdowns, and I am going to go and make more money in the market. He very well could have done that. He's got security now, though, too, right? Over $100 million is nothing to scoff at. That's a nice payday. It's a good payday for a guy that has missed quite a bit of time. That's facts, okay? Those are the facts. You can't argue it. But you can't also argue that Watson is a very good player when he is out there. And I know for some people that is going to be, well, you just said it. When he's out there. I get it. I understand that. But I like the fact that if this is, and we'll find out more details in the coming days when we get to the bones of this contract and the structure of this contract. But from all accounts, if it is in fact performance-based, playtime-based, all that's a win, I guess, for Green Bay, and that it kind of gives them some protection, right? So I like the fact that they locked him up because, again, from just a playing standpoint, we know anybody who's watched Packer games, and I know I've seen fans from other fan bases, Bears, Vikings, whatever, box score scouting this thing. And throwing out numbers like, oh, wow, well, like Luther Burden had more receiving yards or whatever. And I'm sure a lot of you have too. But anybody who has watched a full season or Packers games with Watson out there and has watched games without him out there knows the difference. Knows how important, how crucial, how critical, how valuable he is to this team. Anybody smart enough knows that. Don't box score scout it. Don't sit there and just bring up box scores and look at this and compare it. That doesn't tell the story. That doesn't say anything. Sure, they're cool and they're easy and it's maybe a part of the toolbox, okay? But anybody in their right mind that has watched these games, has followed these games, knows just how valuable Watson is to this offense. Whether it's his own playmaking or the attention he draws, and I think an underrated aspect of his game that doesn't get enough credit is his blocking in the running game. As Matt LaFleur has famously said a couple years ago, if you want the rock, you got to block. And I think that's an underrated element to his game. I like that they've done this deal. They've done the Jaden Reed deal. On the surface, it just, it's hard not to say with those two deals that, man, they maybe, because I really feel after this year, call me a homer, I don't care. But I really feel after this year, there's a very good possibility that we could be looking at both of those contracts, both of those deals, and saying, man, they got a bargain. Kind of did it after Devontae signed, before Ted Thompson called it quits, when they locked, that was kind of Ted Thompson's party gift, and we kind of joked about it, but it's true. He locked up Devontae before he got to the open market, and if Devontae went to the open market, he would have gotten PAID, paid a lot more than what he got from Green Bay. And I really feel like that we could possibly be in that. Now, I'm sure there's others that are probably thinking, let's take it from both sides here. Okay. All right. We locked up Watson. We locked up Reed. But are they going to have like the pay, or are the numbers going to match with what they're getting paid, because there's only one football to go around, and you still got Matthew Golden. Now, we want Matthew Golden more involved in the offense. We want more opportunities for him. As of right now, you still got Josh Jacobs. And they still want to run the football. And, I don't know. You got Tucker Kraft coming back. Tucker Kraft is still there. I understand the questions. I understand those thoughts, for sure. But I'd rather have all those dudes than only have just a couple of them. Not my money to play with, and not my money to figure it out. I'm just a fan. I want as many good players as possible, and keep as many of our good players as possible. With the way these Jaden Reed and the Watson contracts are structured, it sure looks like there's still money to be played with for locking up Tucker Kraft and even Devontae Wyatt. That's where, when it comes to these contracts, and I get it, okay? A lot of people, majority, just look at the total value. And they're looking at triple digits for Christian Watson, over $100 million. They're like, oh, that's a lot. But again, we have to remember, it's not necessarily about the total value. Guaranteed. $31 million signing bonus, that's fully guaranteed. And as far as we know, that if that's it for guaranteed, very kind of easy math. It doesn't tell you the whole exact cap number, but here, just again as a reminder, for cap, for your for your cap history, or for your figuring out your cap, divide 31 by 4. 40 years, 31. Okay, that's what, a little over 7. That's kind of your cap hit. Because he gets 31 right away, but it's not a 31 cap hit. You divide that signing bonus cap hit by the length of the contract. And there's going to be other parts to it too, because you got to hit a certain amount, and it's just, yeah. So for cap hit purposes, it's not 31 right away. You divide it by the length of the deal, which in this case is a little under, just under 8. Not bad. Really isn't. I think it's a good deal for Green Bay. But I also think it's a good deal for Christian Watson. For a guy that, yeah, he's been hurt a lot. He's missed some time a lot. And let's be fair to the guy, though, too. Before he tore his ACL, not last year, but the year before, it looked like he might have turned the corner surrounding those soft tissue injuries. I can't blame him. You can't pinpoint. You can't fault him for an ACL tear. And then when he came back last year, you saw the offense just kind of take another level. And when he got hurt, when he tore the ACL, we saw the offense kind of go, that's how important he is. That's how crucial he is. But I do think the priority now has to be Tucker Kraft. And I think if I'm Goody, if I'm Russ Ball, I'm trying to get this deal done now before the end of the season. And yeah, there's some risks coming off of an ACL. But I also feel if Tucker Kraft did not tear his ACL last year, and he would have continued to play at the level he was doing last year and just putting up some great numbers, that number to get a deal done right now is probably higher than what it is currently. And I know some people are going to say, well, then that means the ACL kind of helped Green Bay save some money. If you want to look at it that way, sure. It probably did. But that's kind of why if I'm Green Bay, I want to get a deal done now. Because if he does hit the open market, it just takes one team. It takes one team to throw out an offer that you can't refuse. And especially when you get to those teams that have to spend money, where they can afford to just up it up a little bit because they have to hit that salary floor, that 5-year average on the salary cap. Those are the dangerous teams. Because I do think, even if they lock up Tucker Kraft before the next offseason, you throw in Watson, you throw in Reed, and a potential Kraft contract, I think there is a very good chance that we could be talking about those being very team-friendly deals for Green Bay. That's just my feeling. But I think Tucker is the next priority. Devontae Wyatt, yes, I want both, and I think they could get both. But if we look at it from maybe depth purposes, Lucas Musgrave is not a starter. I think he could be a good receiving tight end, but he is not a starter. And that's your second tight end, at least on the defensive line. If we had to pick between Kraft and Wyatt, You have a couple of more options on the defensive line. Are they the greatest options? No. Maybe the rookie will pan out. But from when you look at the depth chart between tight end and defensive tackle, the gap is bigger. And Tucker does everything well. Yak, yards after catch, receiving, blocking. He is the perfect tight end for this team. All right, let's take a quick break. Plenty more to get to. We got Brewers, Rockies, 3-game series this weekend. Jacob Mizorowski, let's have a little fun with this. So Jacob Mizorowski pitching in this altitude. Give me some bold predictions on what you think Jacob Mizorowski is going to throw tomorrow night. What's that line going to look like for him? Have some fun with this. Quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. That game for June 11th, Thursday, June 11th. So stop by, bring the kiddos, or if you don't have any kiddos, you can stop by and also say hi and hang out with us for a little bit before first pitch for Thursday night's game. Again, that's June 11th, which is next Thursday for our first of 4 tailgate Thursdays with the Eau Claire Express. We've got Brewers tonight. I think tonight with Brandon Sproat on the mound, this is a big game for Brandon Sproat. And he needs to, I mean, this is coming off the heels of his latest start where Pat Murphy is not happy with what he has seen and what we have seen from Brandon Sproat so far. I mean, throwing out, hey, we're not rebuilding. We can't have duds like that. We've seen comments like this from Pat Murphy for other players, right? I mean, Joey Ortiz and such. But Sproat's getting another chance. He's getting another opportunity. And time is running up. If he goes out there tonight, even with the injuries now to some of the pitchers of this staff, I think how many more times do you throw him out there? If he goes out there for 4 innings tonight and let's say he gives up another few earned runs, how many more opportunities? Is a move to the bullpen better for him? We've seen some flashes of him this year where it's like, okay, that guy's got some special stuff. And I think even if he does go out there tonight and he has a dud, I don't think the Brewers are ready to give up on him by any means. Pat Murphy and Chris Hook and Matt Arnold and those guys, they're not going to do that. But you do have to have the conversation, can we keep him in that starting rotation? Is it better for him to get work at Nashville? Is it better for him to work out of the bullpen? And let's say he even tonight has a good game. Okay, great. It prolongs his stay a little bit. It doesn't secure it, though. Because the biggest thing for him then is going to have to be consistency. Can he stack success? Can he continue to put together good starts? Not just one every 4 or 5. That's unacceptable for a team that's competing for a title, for a division championship, for a playoff spot, for a World Series spot. So this is a big moment for Brandon Sproat tonight in Colorado. Jacob Mizorowski tomorrow. There's a lot of talk about with the altitude, him pitching there, what's that line going to look like, and yeah, it's fun to think about and trying to kind of imagine it and such. You look at the 3 starters for this weekend. It's Sproat, it's Mizorowski, and then on Sunday it's Shane Drone. And I think you look at those 3, and it's like, oh, yeah, Mizorowski you feel probably the most confident in and comfortable in. And why wouldn't you? But I'm also curious to see Shane Drone start on Sunday, because what if Sproat still struggles, but then Shane goes out there and has a solid outing? I mean, he had a start against Boston in April, and it didn't go the greatest, but he's been really effective coming out of the pen. And he just had a start again in his previous game. But is this something where, all right, does he get more opportunities to start? Is he part of a piggyback sort of thing? You throw in a little Chad Patrick into this conversation too, but while tonight is a big game for Brandon Sproat, I think it's also a big opportunity for Shane Drone to go out there and kind of maybe establish himself. But we'll see. First pitch for tonight's game between Brewers and Rockies. Going to be a little bit later, a little bit, not totally West Coast, but if you're going to be tuning into the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. It's going to be first pitch 7:40 tonight. Coverage will begin 35 minutes prior on your radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. And then for Saturday's game, just to kind of give you the heads up here for the rest of the schedule here, it's going to be even a little bit later on. Where did it go here? Let me hold up here. My computer just froze up here. All right. Brewers, Rockies, 8:10 tomorrow. So 8:10 tomorrow, 7:40 tonight, 8:10 tomorrow, 2:10 on Sunday. Then they go all the way west to take on the Athletics, and those are going to be some late games. Then they return home. A week from today, we get that Phillies series. Maybe, I don't know if it'll match up between Sanchez and Mizorowski. I don't know. I don't know. But we'll see. I know the Brewers have an off day next Thursday. So, but yeah, after this Rocky series, and then heck, the A's or Athletics, and I don't want to get down there, but the Athletics. Don't overlook the Athletics. That's a solid young team. And then you got the Phillies, and then the Guardians, and then the Braves. That's a really good stretch here, a really tough stretch for the Brewers. Then you throw on the Reds and the Cubs, and then the Reds again to finish off the month of June. Hey, we had something similar. Brewers had something similar in the month of May, right? Yankees, sweep them, sweep the Cubbies, take 2 out of 3 against the Padres, inches away from nearly sweeping the Padres. If that one ball would have just been a little bit lower for Bryce Terang, Miz would have had the win for that game too. So another good test here for the Crew coming up. All right. We got some more texts to get to here on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line. Final call for those because we're only got 30 minutes left. Hit me up, 715-830-1912. Or you can hit up the Section 105 chat room. Texter or somebody in the chat room at JH48. The Miz is going to hit 127 miles an hour up in Colorado. I hope that'd be awesome. All right, let's take a quick break. Give me some fun, bold predictions for Mizorowski. What is he going to do tomorrow in Colorado in that elevation? All right, quick break. We'll be right back. Some beverage tickets, all the good stuff. Proceeds go to help fund Backyard Dreams. If you are interested in maybe becoming a whole sponsor or donating a raffle prize, because, again, all proceeds go to Backyard Dreams, reach out. Reach out. We would love, love, love the help, and we would definitely appreciate it too. So, but that is going to be 2 months from not tomorrow, 2 months from Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, August 7th. More details, again, at our website, sportstalk1051.com, or you could go to 715store.com as well. Our good friend Ty from Slab Factory saying, worth noting that drone start was so cold out against Boston. I'd like him to replace Sproat, though, if he struggles badly today. But yeah, the injury. The pec injury. I don't with DL Hall coming out of the pen. It sounds like Garrett Anderson. The X-ray was negative. He got hit by a line drive yesterday, so he said he's going to try to throw in Colorado. The DL Hall one, though, something to monitor because, again, that's a guy that's can come in out of the pen, give you some relief, eat up some innings. Hopefully Brandon Woodruff's coming back soon. I know he just had the bullpen session and that. Maybe Logan Henderson here in a little bit too. Jared Kay's going to be coming back soon. So it sounds like reinforcements are coming, even though the Brewers are going through some of their injuries right now and that. But
I think tonight is a big night for Brandon Sproat, either to prolong his time in the starting rotation, or maybe it's tonight's one more chance, one more shot for him to kind of prove himself. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. A couple more people having some fun. Jacob Mizorowski is going to throw for $117 tonight. Another person said Jacob Mizorowski is going to throw a perfect game. And every pitch is going to be over 100 miles per hour. I like the fun. I like the bold predictions. You're having a little fun with that. That's good. So that's good. But a couple of you said, yes, do some show and tell from the Friday Man Cave. All right. I do actually have something coming tomorrow that I got to add to the Man Cave, and something in a few days. Ty from Slab Factory might like that one that I might have come in a few days here. All right, I don't know what I mean. Yeah, I got a bunch of different stuff down here. Maybe we'll do a little show and tell starting next week. Maybe we'll kick it off with the 1965 Green Bay Packer highlights that are cased in this big ol' 8mm film. I ain't opening that thing up again because when I opened it out of the plastic bag, the vinegar smell was pungent. It's like Anchorman when they have the Panther cologne, and Ron Burgundy goes, stings the nostrils. That's what that did. I still want to find somebody that can maybe convert this to like a digital film without ruining the original. I want to keep that in case, but I don't know if that's possible. But it's a cool item. It was from Zeke Bratkowski's collection. So one of my most random things in here for sure. So we got a couple more texts. Says, I agree. I think tonight is Brandon Sproat's last chance to stay in the rotation. If he has a good game, then he stays. If not, I think the Brewers and Pat Murphy seriously have to consider moving him to the pen. If he struggles coming out of the pen, then I think it's a AAA demotion for him. Another texter said that another texter, I'll get to Zach's here in a second, but another texter said that I think I'd like Shea Drone ahead of Brandon Sproat to get more starts. Perhaps maybe those two can piggyback. I'm not sure if depending on – a lot's going to depend on innings too. Just so that they can work it out in terms of where they would both be available on the same day, if you know what I mean. Zach said the Miz is going to pitch for 7 innings and pitch a perfect game. Bold prediction for tonight, the Crew is going to hit 3 or more home runs. Hey, that's another good one. Playing in Colorado with the elevation. Will the Brewers, I'm going to throw this out there, pump the brakes or full throttle? One more last second pump the brakes, full throttle for you. Will the Brewers, I'll put the line at 3.5. Total. Will the Brewers hit 3.5 home or more home runs? We'll put the line at 3.5. Lower or higher? More or lower? What do you got? Total, 3 games. Are they going to do it? And I'll add, remember the one I added a little bit earlier too. Somebody had asked, pump the brakes, full throttle. Is Jackson Chourio going to have 25 home runs this season? I changed it. Is any Brewer hitter that is currently on this roster right now going to have 25 or more home runs this season? I say no. I hope I'm wrong, but I say no. Line's at 3.5. All right, we got picks coming up here to wrap it up, so get your bold picks in right now. 3.5 for this series with the Rockies. Do the Brewers go over that or under? Over, under. You would think over, but it's the Brewers, so I don't know. That's a tough one. More likely to happen, Jacob Mizorowski reaches 127 miles per hour, or the Brewers hit 5 home runs as a team this weekend. Kind of in jest, but still not maybe that far off, too. So, we got picks coming up here as we start to wrap up things. So, final call for any last-minute comments, whether it's the Brewers, whether it's Christian Watson's deal. Would you prioritize Tucker over Devontae Wyatt, or can you make the case it's got to be defense now that they've done Jaden Reed and Christian Watson? Where are you on that? So last call to send those on over. Last night we had OT in the Stanley Cup Finals. Hurricanes picking up a win to even up the series. Good game last night. If you missed it, good game. But NBA Finals, we've got Game 2 coming your way tonight. Knicks Spurs. Send me your picks for that one if you'd like as well. We'll put that in our picks along with all of our baseball games. So, tell you what, let's take our final break, and we'll get to our picks as we start to wrap up this Friday program and head into the weekend. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Anyways, let's get to some picks. Let's do the NBA Finals Game 2 tonight. We got Spurs, Knicks. I'm going to go with the Spurs to even it up. Bounce back, get the dub. If the Spurs lose tonight, I might say it's already over. Going back to New York in that environment, that's going to be tough. Spurs got to get the W tonight. Got to get the win. So, baseball, we are going to pick some series. So, since we're heading into the weekend, we'll what we do every Friday, we're doing some series picks. So, we got Giants versus the Cubbies. I'll go Cubs. White Sox, Phillies. Who would have thought before the season began that maybe this could be actually kind of a fun series? A little bit, kind of, sort of, but I'm still going Philly. Seattle, Detroit, give me the Mariners. Boston, the Yankees. Yankees. I miss the times, and I think it's probably more so regional now, but early 2000s, like when I was in college, that era, if it was Yankees, Red Sox games, even if you weren't a fan of either of those teams, you were just pumped up because, like, okay, somebody's going to get thrown at. There's going to be tempers rising. Everybody's going to, that's lost a little bit. Yankees. Baltimore, Toronto. Let's go with the Blue Jays. Tampa Bay versus Miami. I'm going to go with the Rays. Pirates, Braves. Braves. Athletics, Astros. Give me the Athletics. Reds, Cardinals. Big NL Central. Big NL Central matchup. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Cleveland, Rangers. Give me the Guardians. Royals versus the Twinnies. So last night the Royals picked up a win. You know what? I'll go Royals. I'm sorry, Twins fans. Mets, Padres. Give me the Padres. Washington versus Arizona. Pesky Nationals team, too. I'm still going to go Diamondbacks. Angels versus the Dodgers. Dodgers. And then Brewers versus the Cardinals. Give me the Brew Crew. I'm going to go 2 out of 3 for the Brewers. I'd like a sweep. I'd like to get some brooms out. I think it's either going to be today or Sunday where the L comes. So Zach says on the Brewers having over 3.5 homers in this series. I'm going to go with the over 2. Maybe a little confident, but I'm going to go with the over. I'm going to say Cheerio hits 1, Yelich hits 1, Bowers hits 1, Contreras hits 1. I'll even go Andrew Vaughn. I was thinking about Bryce Terang, but I'm going to go 5. How about that? 5 home runs. I'll put a number on it. I'll go 5. Big thanks again for everybody. I know we got to start to wrap it up here in just a few minutes, but I guess before thanks, we got a few more minutes than I thought. Don't forget Brewers games. You can listen to them on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Tonight's game, 7:40 first pitch. Coverage will begin 35 minutes prior. Tomorrow, it's 8:10. All right, a little bit of a later Saturday night game. And then the getaway day, 2:10 on Sunday. So, and then we're going to begin the work week with some late Brewers games as they take on the Athletics. So just already putting that in the back of your mind. All right, 3 games against the Athletics, going to be the late ones. Going to be really late. So, congrats again to or I shouldn't say our, but congrats again to the high school softball teams that have clinched spots at state. I know Chi High did fall yesterday to Marshfield, but Baldwin Woodville fell to my Medford. Going to give Medford shout out, tip of the cap. Spooner moves on too. So we got state softball. Best of luck to all the track athletes that are competing at state. That's where Brandon our good buddy Mr. Brandon Berg's at. So best of luck to all the teams and athletes that are competing at state track and field this weekend. Best of luck to all the prep baseball teams that are still in action in the postseason too. The Express, they're going to be back at tonight in Duluth, taking on the Huskies. The Express fell last night, so looking to bounce back and pick up another win tonight. I know we got the Eau Claire Axemen with their home opener coming up Saturday nights as well, taking at the Sonntag Center too. So they'll be in action for the home opener tomorrow night. Thanks again for everybody tuning in with our Fridays from the Casper Cave, brought to you by our good friends from Tanglewood Greens. And I mentioned it at the beginning. If you have not checked out Tanglewood Greens in Menominee, just outside of Menominee, that is a really cool course. They have done a really good job. Really cool course. I know Brett, last week that texted in or sent me a message. I think it was on Facebook, Instagram, one of those two. But anyways, talking about, losing some balls, we definitely lost them. No question about it. No question about it. But I had fun. That was a really fun course. It was a really fun course. Definitely want to hit it up again, and definitely will be hitting up again too. Just a really, really fun layout. It reminded me, I kept saying, I don't know if anybody has also golfed over in Mosinee, Indian Head, with a lot of the layout and the woods. And, I mean, first of all, they have a group of turkeys over there that was making me upset because I didn't fill my turkey tag, and that was the other thing that was bugging me. But we had, deer running in, so it was very, wilderness, and I like those type of courses. So a lot of fun at Tanglewood Greens. So if you have not hit up Tanglewood Greens, highly recommend you go do it. So, but we will do a little. I had another texter say, do a show and tell of what's in your van. I'll figure something out for next Friday. I don't want to set the bar so high. It's not like I have a lot of, what I think is cool stuff, but not really high-end stuff. But we'll do some show and tell coming up next Friday when we do our program from here inside the man cave. So we'll definitely do that for sure. But big thanks for everybody for participating, whether it was on the Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912, where we have a couple of texters I didn't get to, but they said David said he definitely likes the Christian Watson deal. He thinks the Packers got a bargain, and it'll look like a bigger bargain after this year. Alex also chiming in saying, love that the Packers are able to extend Christian Watson. I know there's some Packers fans that don't like it because he's been hurt a lot over the years, but I think it's going to work out big time for the green and gold. And I do think that Christian Watson should be, not Christian Watson, Tucker Kraft should be the next player that the Packers lock up. Another texter said, I hope that they both, I hope they lock up both Christian Watson and Devontae Wyatt. Or not Christian. Why do I keep saying Christian Watson? I hope they lock up Tucker Kraft and Devontae Wyatt. I feel like Tucker's going to be the first priority. I just hope that they have enough money left over to lock up Devontae Wyatt. Another texter said, I'm curious to see what Devontae Wyatt's number is going to be like, considering he also has been a little bit banged up. That's a good point. Defensive tackles. Let's kind of see if I got some time to see some defensive tackle numbers. Here we go. This is 2025. So Chris Jones was 30, let's round up, make it easier. $32 million. Milton Williams got that $26 million deal. Leonard Williams is 21.5. Kenny Clark. Would Devontae Wyatt get like a Kenny Clark type of number? Because that's about $21.3 million. Now that's average per year. Can I change? Yeah, contract average. Let's go to cap hit. DeForest Buckner's 26, Jeffrey Simmons. Yeah, so, Milton Williams' cap hit was like 14. Again, that's the biggest thing here is cap hits. not necessarily the whole contract. So I do think they have enough to get both Tucker and Devontae Wyatt done. I do. But we'll see it. We'll see what happens. All right, Shotgun's going to cut us off. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy free fishing weekend. All right, if you don't have your license, take a kiddo fishing. Take advantage of free fishing weekend this weekend. And don't forget to send us photos of you having some luck and catching some fish. All right, send those photos so we can do a little bragging. Have a good weekend. We'll be back at the TDS Sports Talk studio Monday morning.